I don't know if I'm allowed to even say it.
Well, you already got us canceled because you just brought up Nazi Germany. And
True.
That's what we cancel people for in 2021. Even just bringing it up, you are done.
That is done. Right. That is right. I better.
So the game's already over.
I better not.
So just you can push it now at this point.
You know what hashtag?
What do we got to lose?
Hashtag boop bop beep. Welcome to Reactive Reload, a radio show you're always on time for. I'm just one of your hosts, Irish Cowboy, joined by your other host, Crossover. We are going to be reloading the gaming entertainment news for the last week or so and reacting to it. I know. The force is for me, not for thee. How did you react to the most popular celebrity in the world, according to IMDb, getting fired? We'll let you know if you're a terrible person. But first, Diamond fucking Hands. God, I don't even know where to start. I mean, I guess we could talk about Wall Street Bets for a second because that was a thing. That was still a thing. It's still a thing, and people
feel like it's been overrun.
Right, it has been. It definitely, yeah. Wall Street Bets is what's the word? What's the word we're looking for? They are not contaminated. They are
infiltrated.
They have been infiltrated. It's like
yeah.
Fuck. They are. There is a word for it.
Co-opted.
Co-opted. That's another good C word for it. There's another one I'm thinking of. Cunts. I mean, that also comes to mind. That's probably really the one I want.
Bunch of C's.
See, a bunch of them. Bunch of capital C's. But it has taken so much of my life right now. I am waking up at 8 a.m. sharp every single morning just so I can get there before the bell watching this stuff. I cannot wait for this to be over. I really can't. But the thing is, it's fun, though. I'm going to have diamond hands for the rest of my life. I'm going to have diamond Dallas Page hands for the rest of my life. And I don't even care. But, like, I've been watching the stonks like a freaking hawk, my man. And, God.
Yeah, you have.
And what's funny is, though, people were like, yeah, there was a short squeeze on it, but man, it was so fast. It happened so fast, not normally, because it took weeks for the Volkswagen squeeze to happen, and all these other squeezes to happen all the time, regularly, by the way. they take weeks to build up, which is weird, right? So why did the GameStop one happen so much faster, right? Well, I mean, there could be a reason for that, and it could be that everyone bought into the hype. Literally, everyone. Like a percentage of anyone with some kind of disposable income, even people without it, were buying into this thing. And people think that the value, well, there is a side discussion going on that because of that hype, it went up to $450, $480 a share because of the hype alone, and that there really wasn't a squeeze. But one thing that we can say and see for a fact, because I've been recording with OBS and all these others all day long. I've been watching this all day, like 6 hours at a time. Only the last couple days, I've been cutting my time watching it in half because I have a good idea about where things are going at the beginning, even in the aftermarket. We've been using a bunch of different software, the YouTube channels that I've been talking back and forth with, and the people chatting it up. I've had multiple windows open, recording everyone's reactions and what they're doing and what people are actually putting in. At the same time, we're seeing everyone who's buying. We're seeing everyone who's selling. And there's more buying going on right now for the past maybe 2 weeks now than there are sellers. And that should bring up the price, right? Well, we know for a fact that GME is being held down by Robinhood. That they openly say it. It's a short sell restriction.
Yep.
They do that. It's a very common thing. But the thing is, though, the price should not be going down if there's more buyers than there are sellers. And this is what's really bothering me. Things should not be working like this. But Robinhood is so blatantly open about it. I tried defending Robinhood when they first started talking about the real and maybe that was the real reason, or maybe it was a reason they could use. But there's no excuse for after this, for like after they did that, after their clearinghouse they used or their own clearinghouse ran out of money. Like that doesn't make sense. Like
the problem, one of the big problems with Robinhood, which doesn't make any sense to me, is that they did the same thing to Dogecoin and cryptocurrency.
They're still doing
which
it.
Doesn't make any sense
Yeah.
because cryptocurrency transactions are instant. That's the value of cryptocurrency. So there's no way in hell, right, that this should be an issue in that case. And you were still able to buy stocks with that money that they wouldn't let you buy crypto with. It made absolutely zero sense.
Even at these prices right now, there's people were looking on the NASDAQ. Funny enough, NASDAQ showed Dogecoin at $8 at one point that night. You and I were both watching it. I don't think a lot of people saw that. So like I've got the screenshots of it, and it's always funny to see. People are like, yeah, but the NASDAQ said this, and the NASDAQ said this. And one guy commented, NASDAQ says a lot of things. And I showed him the picture of Dogecoin at $8. But the thing is, no, there was an interesting point about NASDAQ. Sometimes if you catch them at a random time, they are showing a different pricing of GME and AMC. There was according to a couple of screenshots and pictures of people showing, GME was really at $150 a share over the last week, as opposed to $50 a share. AMC was also a lot higher. I think they were I think someone said maybe 30 or maybe even 40 or something like that, but it didn't show that for long. Now, in the terms of Robinhood, their terms and agreement, no one reads these things, right? But it really says something about manipulating the data, and you won't always see the most accurate results on Robinhood. Now, I didn't even know how popular Robinhood was, but a lot of damn people are using Robinhood. And
it's become really popular since COVID because it's an easy way for people who now have a lot of time on their hands to try to make some extra money.
Right. And there is a huge way to manipulate this. And people, even on Wall Street Bets, you're seeing big posts about people saying the short ladder attacks that are happening during short selling is not real. And it is definitely real. And we are tracking each and every individual price. They have really underestimated how retarded we are. I don't think they thought we would be staring at every single order going through buying and selling, right? Like watching it for hours at a time. We don't have this time to do this now. I got to tell you, when the media is telling you to do one thing, it's always the other. You know what I mean? It's always the opposite that's really going on. And right now we are seeing an onslaught of propaganda being spewed all over Wall Street Bets, all over YouTube. We're seeing it literally everywhere, telling people to sell, saying that they missed a short squeeze, and literally bashing people for keeping their diamond hands and holding. There are bots. This does show up in Wall Street Bets. Some of these posts actually do get through now, where you can see that there's one account making the same post 250 times over a period of a couple hours, telling people to sell GME. I mean, that makes you. What does that make you think? I mean, why would this be happening? What would
not just that?
The cannabis gains too this last week. Another distraction.
Not just that, but also it shows just the pure hypocrisy.
Without a doubt.
That they can come at Wall Street's bet and say this is wrong. You're manipulating the stock market. Yeah. While at the same time they can go on to MSNBC or whatever, Fox Business or whatever the case may be, and they can get on there, slander everybody involved, and tell them how this is just a short-term thing. It's not real. Yeah. It's going to come all crashing down. All you people are going to get hurt. Ha, ha, ha. Isn't that so funny? And meanwhile, they have their back alley deals, whether or not with Robinhood. And one thing that you brought up on Robinhood, and I'll just say this, is that there is some debate within contract law and contract theory on whether or not terms of service in fine print is valid or not, because there's not technically a meeting of the minds there, and it could just be slipped in. So that's all I'll say about that. Stephen Kinsella has some really good work on that if anybody's interested. It does get really nitty gritty, and
Hello? That's a very good point. That is a very good point. I would love to know what that was about.
Hi, NSA.
Hold on one second.
Like Beetlejuice. We said Wall Street Bets too many times. Wall Street Bets, Wall Street Bets, Wall Street Bets. And then the powers that be led by Mark Zuckerberg just appear, shut down all conversation.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. I don't know if you were recording after you said 1 second, but I had some jokes in there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I do think that's kind of funny that everything just all of a sudden up and did that. Like, holy shit.
What I said is that I think Wall Street Bets has just been programmed in the ethos as Beetlejuice. Like you say it 3 times, and all of a sudden the censorship led by Mark Zuckerberg just appears.
I would believe it. Jesus Christ, man! I thought I thought he was just. I don't know. I thought he was maybe. I always thought I don't want to go off on another topic. Let's just say Mark Zuckerberg is not who I thought he was.
No, he's a lizard man.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. So who is the Steven? The Steven guy you're talking about? Right.
Steven.
Right there.
Yep. Okay. So if people want more information about that, somebody good to look into is Steven Kinsella. He has a lot of good work on like contract theory law and stuff like that. That's a much heavier topic than what this podcast is supposed to be. So I will just leave it at that.
This could get into a whole other thing too.
Yeah, I will say that it is no coincidence that Ben Bernanke, who used to be the head of the Federal Reserve during the 2008 financial crisis, who 6 months into the recession said that the outlook for the economy was just swell, just grand. He's on record as saying that it's very, very good. Is one of the, I want to say let me make sure I get this right. He's a, what do they call he's a consultant for one of the firms that owns Robinhood. And so I don't think that it's any surprise that those hedge funds would have Ben Bernanke's ear and be able to tell him and call him to action.
Right.
And that, this happened so fast. The great thing about it, which was very red pilling for a lot of people, was that this all happened in real time without any time to really explain it away.
Right.
Because now the Wall Street Bets people have gone from Trump supporters to white supremacists to I think Jimmy Kimmel called them Russian disruptors. So I mean, like, the narrative on who these people are have just changed rapidly over and over again because they're just trying to find something that sticks.
Right.
And I find it very humorous that these hedge funds who can short stocks the way that they short them have kind of, and not even to say that there's anything necessarily wrong with shorting stocks per se, like it does have a market function. Again, that's something that's much heavier than this podcast.
It keeps the market in check.
Yeah, it does. And it keeps things more stable and less volatile. Yeah. But for them to be able to short 140% of the stock and like I said, get onto these networks and tell you exactly what it is that they're doing and the degree to which they're doing it, and then pretend like a couple of people who openly say this is what we plan on doing. Yep. That's wrong, but what they're doing is just fine. And that, well, don't you know, you win some, you lose some. Right. But for millions of people to get together, because these hedge funds, they could throw so much money at this stuff. Yep. All day long, all day. They can move it themselves in a way. You know what I mean? Like they can do it themselves.
And they are. And
whereas this took millions of people. Yes. With just a couple of dollars in their pocket and probably to their name, given the state of this country at the moment. Oh, yeah. And all of a sudden that these are the bad guys. And this is who the media is now trying to portray as the bad guy. The good news is good luck. Right? Because hedge funds, rightly or wrongly, we won't necessarily get into the politics of it, but are viewed very negatively by the average American. And so for them to get up there and say that, no, these retail investors are the bad guy, good luck.
Right. This fuckery that has been taking place here really kicked off. I feel I don't know if you heard this, but when Nancy Pelosi heard about this, you know what she said? When she heard that this was going on, she said one word: interesting. Quote: "Now tell me, Wall Street Bets' collective buttholes did not just pucker so tight after hearing that." Shortly after, man, oh gosh, it's like the shit just started hitting the fan big time. She was in the news last week, right, for buying Tesla at like 500 a share. Was that what she was doing? I think she was involved in the stocks big time.
Not even that. I mean, we can go back to COVID, where Dianne Feinstein and others, Republican and Democrat senators and Congress men and women, off offloaded their hotel stock right before they announced shutdowns to the economy.
Oh yeah, they went on the news. One guy went on the news talking about he was almost crying, talking about it was the end of Hilton hotels as we know it.
Yeah, and nobody has faced any charges for this. Nobody has faced really any backlash other than maybe like
he made billions
article or two. And these people just offloaded their stock right before they shut down the economy, and they knew. And if that is not insider trading, I don't know what is.
Right.
I don't know. Like, if you're going to have these rules about like collusion and market manipulation, I mean, what better time to use it than now? But no, that's not how it's played. The game is always rigged. Yeah. And these people, they come out and now they want to use it on basically, lack of a better word, some poor people, or at the very least, some people who have just a little bit of money in their pocket to spend. You know what I mean? It's not like they're spending millions, but maybe, when GameStop was at $300 a share, they've got some pocket change floating around.
Right. Like,
comparatively speaking.
I always had like a little bit of hope, me, man, Mr. Brightside sometimes, but like in this situation, I was like, okay, we've got the free market or whatever, Wall Street people, there's some really cool stories going on. Right. But when this happened, it's gone. It's all gone. All the hope is gone because I realized that these people are seriously not wanting us to make anything off of this. Now, some people did, some people got out and they did, but I'm still saying that there's not a squeeze yet. It's in the back of my mind. I'm about 50-75 there. I'm still holding. But the thing is, there's this thing called naked short selling where have you ever bought tickets to a concert or a show or any kind of event, and when you buy them online, your seats get taken by someone who bought the same ticket as you at the same time? Well, like there's something similar that kind of goes on in the stock market, and it's called naked short selling. It's where they will literally clone a stock, but that stock isn't worth nothing. And if they pass it through enough hands, the average retail day trader will buy it, and they'll pay legitimate money for it, but they won't physically own it. There's a way that you can pull back on the naked short selling, though. I mean, it is a death notice for companies that try and pull this stuff, if they get caught, like total bankruptcy. But there is a thing that people are trying to do this last couple of days, and that's called a shareholders meeting. I don't know if you heard about that, but that's one of the last things that Wall Street Bets was doing. And now that shareholders meeting has been canceled, and they're not going to do it. There's also another thing. Yesterday, FINRA was supposed to come out with a report. And FINRA, you can look at what the dates and times that they release their bi-monthly reports. It's always the same day and the same time, 6 p.m. Right? Well, they kept bumping it back a couple hours. And then they bumped it out more a couple hours after that. And then finally, I went to bed still not knowing what the short interest rate was on GameStop for a share shortage or whatever. Now, that doesn't always mean anything, but it'll tell you about where things are kind of headed. Well, the next day, today I woke, or was it yesterday or today? I can't remember. I woke up and saw that the short interest report was out. But then I saw that 3 or 4 other sites, these sites reported that the short interest was out, like at 6 p.m. on the dot. But FINRA didn't come out and say that. They didn't come out and say that right away, but these 2 sites did. But they're both a couple different sites. I wish I could reference them right now. Getting shut down there for a minute kind of threw all my tabs off. Basically, there's about 4 or 5 different websites that are reporting on different short interest right now, including FINRA for the GameStop short. And it's all AMC is really low. GameStop is apparently the number that a lot of people are agreeing on is 78%, which anything above 20% is like super high. For shorting things is abnormal, and people can still make money off of this. But we're seeing GameStop still rise. It went up to 85 a few days ago. Like, it's not done yet. And I don't know. The only way that could explain this is if they were doing short selling or a form of naked short selling. And we can prove it. But there's a lot of people now, a lot of YouTubers are saying, no, it's not happening. That can't happen or whatever. But they're not looking at the shares coming in. When you have more buying than selling, and the price is still going down, there is something seriously wrong going on here. And I don't know if maybe they'll get away with it. Some people seem to think the system we have of like stocks is going to just reveal everything. All will be revealed. People keep saying all will be revealed. Hold. I'm still going to hold like everyone else is holding because we're all holding. Maybe they're just trying to fake us out. But we just got to hold on tight.
Yeah. So just I wanted to travel back. So Ben Bernanke currently is senior advisor to Citadel, which is a $25 billion hedge fund.
Oh, yeah.
Citadel is one of the ones that stood to lose a lot of money.
Was it Citron also? Melvin Capital, Citron.
Melvin Capital was one. Yep. And and Citadel owns owns Robinhood. Okay, so I did get that right. Just want to make sure. All right.
I love the way Robinhood
how the world really works.
Right. Melvin apparently bought out, and they weren't in the game, but they did need a bailout though, billions.
Yeah. George Carlin's got a great bit where he goes, "It's a big club, you ain't in it."
That's right, man. I'm there right now. I am there. Now I'm not in the club, right? I can't get you in.
You found out where the club is, though.
I know where it is.
Annoy them a little bit.
That's right. I don't know who it's about the Jimmy Kimmel thing. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but maybe I don't know.
Russian disruptors,
right? Russian disruptors. Now I'm not
even funny.
I am not even gonna entertain that idea for a second. But I will say, when this whole thing started, I made a post on Facebook, and I pointed out that back in World War II, the Germans went to great lengths to fake the British pound. They made an identical copy, and it was so exact that it fooled everybody. They then proceeded to fuck it all up and dump tons of it from airplanes flying over the UK. And there's just there's just videos of it, of paper all over the ground, and no one, because everyone was onto them. It was so obvious, right? They really fucked it up, but their intention. They were going to do it here too. They even came very close. But the thing is, the Jewish people they had working in the concentration camps knew that if they had successfully duplicated $1, that their lives would be over and their job would be done. So they fucked it up, and that's why it didn't happen here too. But their whole goal of doing this was to crash the economy. They wanted to tank it by putting all of this fake cash in there. And now, I guess it's a cool plan. But they were so brazen. They were so.
What do you mean, Irish? That sounds just like quantitative easing.
Right. It's just they weren't even subtle about it, and that's my point too. They weren't subtle about what was going on here. We were all watching what was happening. Some more than most, but I got to tell you, man, I was staring at it the entire time, and I have no more faith, and this is what's going on. It reminds me of something that happened a few months ago. I will not. I don't know if I'm allowed to even say it.
Well, you already got us canceled because you just brought up Nazi Germany, and
true.
That's what we cancel people for in 2021. Even just bringing it up, you are done.
That is
done.
Right. That is right. I better.
So the game's already over.
I better not.
So just. You can push it now at this point.
You know what? Hashtag,
what do we got to lose?
Hashtag boop bop beep. Let's do it. Jesus Christ.
So before we get into that, which is a very good segue, by the way, that you brought up Nazi Germany. Let's get into some of the good news first. And then we can tail back. So we started off with some crazy stuff with the Wall Street bets. We'll go into some good news from Disney, which is since the last time we spoke, Morgan, my favorite game ever, Knights of the Old Republic.
That's right.
Announced that they're making a third one.
Yes,
so what do you think about that?
I think I'm actually gonna play Knights of the Old Republic for the first time ever. I watched. There's an 8K video up on YouTube of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, and now I was watching it. They put all the scenes of the game, I guess, together, and it looks fantastic. And I have never seen this before. It was really well done. The characters are really cool. The Han Solo kind of cowboy dual wielder guy, that dude's cool as shit.
Carthonassi.
Yeah. That was right up my fucking alley. I wish I would have gotten into it. I never did, and I feel bad for that. But man, I was before all this Wall Street shit hit. That's what I was watching. I was in the process of seeing the compilation. I was going to come back and surprise you with some knowledge that I learned about it too. But then the whole world went tits up again.
Yeah.
How many times is this going to happen? Seriously,
you thought 2021 was going to be better. You thought
2020 was boring. we all sat inside, got really pale, and started hating each other even more than we ever have. Yeah, Jesus.
But I am so excited. Revan, if you don't know, is the center of Knights of the Old Republic, kind of the Old Republic era. And in my opinion, the coolest character in Star Wars other than Anakin Skywalker.
I
think his story is great. Because, I mean, with Anakin, the thing is that if there is no Anakin, there is no Star Wars, because the entire story of Star Wars is about telling the arc of Anakin Skywalker. So you don't even have Star Wars without Anakin, which is why he just takes number one, because literally everything that happened, even in the Old Republic, all revolves and centers around the arc of Anakin Skywalker. And then another thing that was really cool is that Dave Filoni recently, an interview has surfaced from him a couple years ago, where he talked about I want to say it was Rebels or Clone Wars, it was one of those two, but Vader runs into Darth Revan's ghost. Ooh. And he actually speaks to him. So they ultimately ended up cutting it out, but it was something that they seriously had considered giving thought to.
The same was
also very cool.
Making Brie Larson another super powerful, the most powerful Jedi ever, without even trying. Like maybe more powerful than Anakin. Thank God that's not happening. I mean,
maybe she'll smile in this one.
I hope she does. She really should smile more.
Yeah, she's got a great smile.
You could just tell in Captain Marvel, they said, "Don't you fucking smile."
Can you imagine like her laughing on set? Hey,
cut that shit out.
Yeah, there's just somebody following her all the time. Like, hey, you're having fun. Stop that.
She sees a puppy get kicked in the face, and she cracks a grin for a second.
It's probably the only thing that would make her smile. But anyway, we're off track here. So, Knights of the Old Republic 3 is coming out. I don't want to even say Knights of the Old Republic 3. A Knights of the Old Republic game is coming. We don't know what it is. It could be a remake of 1 and 2 kind of combined into one with like updated graphics and stuff like that, which I would still be down for.
Yeah,
because it totally opens the door for everything else, and they might just adapt it to kind of the new content.
So we can put our Series X's to good use.
Yeah,
the few of us that have one.
Now, the interesting thing about this is that it is not going to be EA or BioWare. They explicitly said it will not be them.
All right.
So okay. BioWare is interesting because they did have a part in the first one, which is why I think maybe they made a point to say BioWare. But EA not being a part of it, like, thank God.
Remember Anthem?
Thank goodness it's not going to be a part of it. That's all I have to say about that.
God, I had so much hope for Anthem. I won't get into it. We do know of another developer making a Star Wars game, Massive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Smells like season pass in here.
Yeah. What a great meme that was.
It only takes one meme to bring down an empire. Reactive reload, conspiring in the background.
They were so close because I have for years said that what they need was an open world Star Wars RPG.
Right. Perfect. And so third person. But they had
Lucasfilm, which is now back, was like, you got it. Crossover. We're going to do an open world Star Wars game. I'm like, yes. Thank you, Disney. Thank you, Lucasfilm. And they go, and this is going to be great. We're going to have Ubisoft Massive make it. Or I'm sorry, this is how it actually started. They go, we're going to have Ubisoft make it. I'm going to be like, okay, I'm cool with that. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, game of the year, best game out so far. They're fixing Cyberpunk. Right. We'll see what happens with that. But so far, right now, for my money, Valhalla has been a great game. Love it to death.
Without
like, yeah, I knew you'd like that. I knew you'd like that. But one more thing. Like, okay, yeah, Lucasfilm. And they go, it's going to be massive.
Oh, God.
Fuck!
Can't always get what you want.
You ever see the Vince McMahon meme where like his face, it like sees something and it progressively gets better until he's like sitting back in the chair? Like almost, it looks like his face, he's about to have an orgasm. Well, it was like I got all the way to that point and like the last slide where it's like him just completely just leaned back and in awe. Yes. And then it immediately just went back to like me with my hands in my face and like a bottle of Jack just tipped over on the table, already gone.
Yep. Wild turkey, like the Punisher.
Massive destroyed the Division. I'm sure they'll destroy this too. It might start off great, to be fair.
Oh,
just
yeah.
like the Division.
Yeah,
and then
Division 2
they will fuck it up. And like maybe we might even get some lines going, you know, when you like first create your character. That'd be great. And a little nostalgia there. And then they're just gonna update it into the ground.
You know, politics aside, just kidding. Politics are never aside. Star Wars and Massive are a match made in heaven.
Well, Disney
Disney and Massive.
Made in heaven.
If they were going with the whole woke vibe, I mean, if you question Massive's ability to be woke, you get an automatic 20 downvotes in Reddit for saying anything about women, even if it's what they said about women. Like, so you can see it. Go to Reddit. Go see anything about the Division or Massive. We have heard that there is a tight French woke clique over at Massive that run the whole show, and they are cranky and they don't give a crap who knows it. But I don't see them changing anytime soon. I really don't know what's going to happen anymore, Cross.
Yeah. And speaking on the woke train, I guess now we can get into the bad. And the bad is that Cara Dune, Gina Carano, has been fired.
Yep.
From Disney, from Lucasfilm, whatever the fuck, wherever her contract is within Disney and on Disney, it's gone. It's done. She's out of there.
Dunzos.
And it all stemmed from an Instagram post in which she vaguely, and I mean very vaguely, suggested that maybe conservatives are being persecuted for their beliefs. And I think maybe even more specifically Donald Trump supporters.
Yeah.
And now, look, you can say that it's absurd. And if you're a midwit, you'll say there's no comparison because, of course, to those types of people, every comparison must be exactly the same.
That's
because they're not capable of critical thought. They're NPCs. They don't matter. We've been there. We've discussed that. Move on with that.
They're too embarrassed. They have to admit to the other side also being equally as dirty.
For this to be the tweet or the Instagram post that gets somebody fired, what an absolute joke.
Yeah.
How pathetic. And you and I talked, we texted, and if the people out there need to know anything about me, it's that I have the receipts.
That's right.
And one of the receipts that I sent you was Mr. Jack Morrissey. Now, if you don't know who Jack Morrissey is, which I don't blame you, the man is a blue check mark with only 300 followers on Twitter. Amazing.
Weird.
Yeah.
Photoshop.
He is a producer for Disney who has now since made his account private, and it stemmed from an incident with the Covington Catholic kids. Now, if you don't know what that is, it was a bunch of kids from a school called Covington. It was a Catholic school. And the kid had a MAGA hat on. There was a Native American man that was getting in his face that actually accosted him, as it turned out, because Nicholas Sandman, the kid in question, has won a bunch of millions of dollars from CNN, MSNBC, and the like for slander and libel because they attacked his character, slandered this kid, and he was a kid at the time. He was only 17 as a white supremacist. And Jack Morrissey took it a step further. Jack Morrissey... let me get the actual tweet up here. Hashtag prepared, but hashtag this isn't live. So
MAGA kids go screaming, hats first, into the wood chipper.
Yes, and he showed a graphic of somebody being thrown into a wood chipper.
This is disturbing as shit.
Yeah, and now like you can say that you know, maybe Gina Carano was off base with her comparison. You can say maybe she's crazy or that it's cringe, right? That's fair. Those could be fair arguments to be had. But to suggest that she should be fired over this when Jack Morrissey still has a job just shows you how selective the outrage is and how selective the enforcement of the outrage is, which I think is probably the bigger issue. Whereas if you are not on the right side, in Disney's opinion, you are gone. But if you are on the right side, it's apologize, make your account private, and let's sweep it under the rug.
Or sometimes don't say anything at all. Or sometimes if you just act like it's not even a problem, you know, it'll go away for them. Pedro Pascal equally, he was not too far off with his comparison of America. It was just a completely different viewpoint.
Yeah. Now him, Pedro Pascal, plays a great Din Djarin, and he's great in The Mandalorian. And I'm not suggesting that he should be fired at all. I don't think that Gina Carano should be fired, and I don't think that Pedro Pascal should be fired. But what I am saying is you could make the case that Gina Carano was alluding to a comparison.
Right.
Right? But Pedro Pascal took it a step further and actually made the comparison where he shows a bunch of kids in cages. It says America 2018. And above that, it shows a bunch of Jews being held at, like Auschwitz or some other, what's the word I'm looking for? Concentration camp. Mm-hmm. And it says Germany 1944. That is a direct comparison. There is no question what it is that he's saying. With Gina, you could say maybe she was saying this about conservatives, but you could just make the case very easily that she was merely saying the general division of the country, regardless of your political stance,
this
is getting to the point. Yes, is getting to the point where it could get very dangerous very quickly. Yeah, and for that she was then canceled, which kind of proved the point that she was making.
Yep.
It's just all crazy.
It is crazy.
It's pathetic, one, and unfortunate at the very least. And I don't know if Disney will ever learn their lesson. I don't think they care about losing money.
Something is going to happen.
Piss money away.
Something's going to happen here, though. Even what Gunn, wasn't he rehired to do Guardians again after getting canceled by the
what happened with Gunn was he had a whole series of tweets, and it took a while before Disney made any action where they, I don't even want to repeat them, but let's just say it was some very he talked about some very explicit acts, and some of them were with children.
You're right.
And he got fired, sure, right, which given today's climate was probably to be expected, but he was immediately hired again to do the new Suicide Squad. So he's still employed,
right?
You know what I mean? And granted, it's not by Disney. I get that, but the fact that the people have gone so hard after Gina Carano and say nothing about James Gunn getting rehired.
They wanted.
It really tells you all you need to know.
It is open season on anyone who disagrees with the left right now for any reason whatsoever. And I'm worried they're going to be bold enough to not say anything about this. But at the same time, it kind of warms me a little bit to see the reaction Gina Carano is getting from this. It makes me happy. A lot of people think this is complete and utter horseshit, but there's a lot of people still backing up the decision. I mean, the articles are reading all the articles are the same. I swear to God, every article I'm reading is written by the same fucking person. If it's written by someone who has the same political view as, I guess, the mainstream now, even though it's crazy to say.
Don't call them the mainstream. It gives them too much credit to the corporate press.
That's right. That's right. Corporate press, without a doubt. Yeah. And I don't see, I don't know where this is going to go, but I know that she's getting a lot of support right now. But I think her agencies have dropped her from what I've heard so far.
Her agent has dropped her.
Damn. See, that's not, man, that is, God. I mean, probably in fear of retaliation. If they,
I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Honestly, I don't even think Disney gives a shit about any of this.
Yeah.
I don't think that the talent agencies give a shit about any of this. I don't think that they ever have. They're reading the tea leaves. They're saying this is the general direction of the culture that we're in.
Yeah.
We'll follow suit so that in the end, we make as much money as possible.
Yeah, I got to tell you.
What this should show you, just 1 second, is that for the left who rails against strong female characters so much and that believe that women are oppressed, whether or not you think that that's true, but that women are oppressed and that they get unfair shakes, for them to be calling for the firing of this woman, a strong female character.
She's a literal strong female character. That's right.
For her political opinion or a post that she alluded to where people are saying it's anti-Semitic. There's nothing in there that's anti-Semitic.
Absolutely
what a
nothing.
Reach. That is beyond a reach. They reached so far back that they touched the South Pole.
It's like
for them to
calling someone a racist for saying that Oh yeah, that guy. I think he was black. I can't remember. Racist. It's literally saying that.
Yeah, and for them to fire her over this shows you that it doesn't matter. None of that matters to them. It's that you fall in line. That is the only thing that matters, and this proves it again. Not for the first time, not without a doubt, like just again. Like it happens so often that it just proves it again. But if you needed more proof, here you are.
The amount of people saying that she's a racist is insane too. Like that it is coming
no basis.
No basis whatsoever. Judaism is not a race. Like I don't really understand. Like people just want to attach that. I know the word, loses all of its flavor, right? When nowadays, but at the same
that's why
time,
they've upped the ante. You saw it with Wall Street Bets, which we just talked about.
That's right. At the same time though, like they're using this word so to cause damage. They want to cause harm. Like when they call someone a racist, they are doing it for everyone around them who are seeing this. That's the only thing, because they want people to latch onto it. Because so a lot of people are going to read this headline about Gina Carano. A lot of people who are struggling to keep their families alive right now, and themselves. A lot of people who are losing their businesses and stuff. Maybe they only really kind of just peep at a headline. They're not going to get too far into this story, and they're going to see that she was saying some anti-Semitic and even racist comments, but even though it was about the Holocaust, whatever, makes absolutely no sense. But people are going to see this and pick it up. Like for the longest time, I was worried, and I couldn't understand for the life of me, why are these video game companies, why are these movies, why are these networks all buying into this whole like woke philosophy and this everyone's offended kind of thing? And if you say the wrong stuff, we're going to cancel you. I was like, this has been going on for a few years now, like big time, but it's ramping up a lot. And now we're actually seeing, well, what all this is playing into. I had no idea where this was going 5 years ago, but now it's like that stuff was getting some pushback. And it took years for this to become like a new norm for like permanent deletion, cancellation for publicly disagreeing with people. But now it's easy. Now it's just like right away. Most of the time they don't even need a good reason.
And just for our audience who maybe haven't seen the post is a woman who's being chased in the streets. It looks like she's been beaten.
Yeah.
And the post reads, Jews are beaten in the streets, not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children. Because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the governments first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views?
Not wrong. Not wrong at all.
Now, not only would I say that it's not necessarily like wrong, like in just the context, like on its own terms, I guess. But like not even necessarily with the context that she means to be posting it with. But here's the best part about this. Are you ready? Lucasfilm, a subsidiary of Disney. So this is Disney, right? Like that's how you read that. It's Lucasfilm, Disney, releases a statement Wednesday which read, Gina Carano is not currently employed by Lucasfilm, and there are no plans on her to be in the future. Nevertheless, her social media post denigrated people based on their culture and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable. So Disney, who has a very close and some would say unholy relationship with the People's Republic of China,
without a doubt,
they say that let's hear, denigrating people based on their cultural and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable. But Disney has nothing to say about the Uyghur Muslims being slaughtered in China and held in concentration camps and being
thanking them in the credits of Mulan,
denigrated based on their cultural and religious identities. And let's not even mention the way that they handled the coronavirus situation, where they were literally just murdering people.
They were welding the doors shut of these apartment complexes that these people lived in. They filmed Mulan in the concentration camps, and then in the credits of Mulan, they thanked the area they they were able to film in.
Yep.
Unbelievable. But no one is going to look that far. Like a lot of this stuff, it was being suppressed for a long time, but now it's really easy to find information on this. But people are still, supporting this firing of Gina Carano for this minor thing. This was a very quick thing. Like, you could tell they were waiting to push the fire button on Gina Carano ever since she said boop bop beep. There was insider talk saying that it was that for like a couple months now they wanted to fire her, and someone was literally just waiting on her Twitter feed basically, or her Instagram, just waiting for a reason to do that, and they did. She was going to have her own spin-off show, but that was canceled like after the whole boop bop beep thing, or maybe another tweet after that. She was going to have her own show that she was going to headline. And I thought it was awesome. She's a cool character, and of course, a strong female character. Like, she's the very definition of that. And isn't that what? Maybe she
can't have that.
Maybe she's just like too strong. What's scary? What's scary is that Disney wants to just have people who are like in the same mind as they are. They want to hire people. They want people working for them who feel the same way they do. Maybe they feel like it makes the characters more believable for the roles they're playing. If that's the case, I hope to God Disney never makes a video about what happened at the Capitol on January 6th, because they might actually kill people in that movie. But the thing is, though, the only people who died at the Capitol were conservatives or Trump supporters. Disney scares the shit out of me. TLDR.
As they should. Yeah, TLDR. Disney bad. All right. So, back to some good news.
Yeah.
BlizzCon, February 19th and the 20th, will be online, where we will finally get some more Overwatch 2 news.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about this.
I almost jumped back up into World of Warcraft. Almost.
Yeah.
Blizzard, I want to see something from them. I mean, it is a good segue to Blizzard, though, but they also they also
let's leave that for when they actually do something.
Well, I mean, they did fire that one streamer, right?
Yeah.
They canceled the streamer
for
the Hong Kong protest thing. So I mean,
yeah, that was a while ago, though. We did talk about that. We did talk about that.
True, but great. But no, that was a classy segue.
It was. I'm getting better. But so I guess some bad news about BlizzCon is that it is very much suspected that they will postpone Overwatch 2. Obviously, the development has been slowed down since COVID, and them being California based, obviously they've had to work under some pretty awful conditions, given the state of California. So it appears that will be pushed back, which may be a little bit sad, but Blizzard does this all the time. They always push games back, and they always release really good games. I mean, Overwatch, one of my favorite games ever. Very good. I'm very optimistic about the direction Overwatch has been headed in over the last couple of months, over the balance changes. I think Overwatch 2 will be very good. But I think to compensate for that, there are a lot of rumors going around the rumor mill that Overwatch 1 will become free to play, which would make a lot of sense, seeing as what they're really selling is PvE in Overwatch 2 and kind of redefining what it means to have a sequel. So that will be interesting to look out for.
It will be interesting, especially because the Overwatch 2 people can play with the Overwatch 1 people. Are they still doing that? So is it going to feel different? Is it going to play any better than Overwatch 1?
It's all on the same
engine.
But it's supposed to be updated.
I really
and the cosmetics are going to be different too. Like, the characters are going to look different on Overwatch 2.
Interesting.
So I mean, but that wouldn't be that hard to do, because it's all about the hitbox in the end anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even if they appear to be moving different or look a little bit different from 1 to 2, I don't know how big of a difference that's going to make, because it would just be about the hit registration anyway.
Yeah.
But the people on next gen are going to have an advantage just because
they already are. They definitely already are. I mean, Star Wars Battlefront 2, it feels so smooth, and it's so easy to hit your shots in that game. And that's a much older game. I'm excited about it. Was there anything else you wanted to say about Overwatch 2?
No, just that I am expecting maybe like a couple of teases at new characters because we've had a character drought because obviously they're holding everything for Overwatch 2. I imagine we're going to get just a shit ton of characters all at once, which will be a lot of fun because it's definitely going to change the balance of the game up a lot.
Yes.
And then just other things to kind of note. They've got obviously World of Warcraft. What's next in there? If you just look at the schedule, just type in BlizzCon 2021. StarCraft, Legends, Diablo, and Hearthstone seems to be what they're really focusing on. So I don't know if there's going to be any releases about any new games or anything like that. It looks like they're just going to kind of revamp and really dedicate themselves to what's working, which given the year that we've had in 2020, I can't blame them for.
Yeah. We'll shift gears here a second. We got the GTA 5. The enhancement date update is coming for both PS5 and Xbox Series X. It's going to make the game feel a lot more responsive, right? Especially since, the game came out, 2013? Yeah. That's insane. But it's also going to be tied to some Red Dead 2 enhancement, which is what I'm waiting for to actually finish the damn game. Like I've been holding, to talk about diamond hands, bro. I have been holding so hard for Red Dead 2. And I cannot wait to play through it with this enhancement update. But we do have some GTA 6 leaks. So spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear this, spoiler alert, it's a hard rumor that we might be going back to Vice City. The head of Rockstar, who is in charge of like the stories and stuff, he did not want to buy into the whole female character thing. He didn't want to have to make that because of political pressure and what have you. So I'm glad he's not buying into that. And the smoothest way to do that, in my opinion, would be going back to Vice City. And that's okay, because everyone really liked Vice City. But there's going to be a lot more to it than just that. They're prioritizing the game on consoles. The nudity level is going to be similar to Cyberpunk. Body form alteration can happen, like in San Andreas, but not as dramatic. People will comment on your apparel choices. The online going to be grounded for the release, not like the current GTA, where there's flying cars and shit. Red Dead Redemption 2 is also getting an next-gen patch. It doesn't overhaul the graphics. The leaker claims that it is the best story ever put into a GTA game, but not quite emotional as RDR2. The mission structure is supposed to be quite free. You can just roam around, and you don't have to necessarily accept things. A lot like Cyberpunk, I like that. And other games too, Skyrim. The map is smaller than Red Dead Redemption 2, but way dense. This seems to be the biggest red flag regarding the credibility of the leaker, but considering the game spans multiple decades, it makes sense if they decided to pack it more. Another possibility could be something like The Witcher 3. I haven't played that game. That's another thing I really wanted to play. But yeah, there's a lot more with leaks. I read a couple of them. Apparently the Mafia will be in the game, but the leaker did not want to say anything about that because they play a big part in the game, and he did not want to spoil it for people. So that's kind of cool, huh? Hearing about little GTA 6 there. Hopefully it didn't spoil anything for anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it'll be interesting. That would be a way to get around it, but I don't know. I did see a leak back in January that they were planning on introducing their first female protagonist.
Yeah, that was a rumor, and so, I mean, I heard the same thing too. I was worried about.
Well, I mean, so if they do it in the same way that they did Grand Theft Auto 5, you know what I mean, where she's like one of 3 characters. You know,
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind that. I think the leaker did say that there might. Speaking of that, it might follow just one guy. That's what the latest leak is. But I mean, just like the leaks you heard, they're all subject to change. And so are these.
And I really liked the 3 character approach.
I do too.
That GTA 5 took. It was very interesting too. Like there was a lot of depth, and like it changed. Like on playthroughs, it changed it up because if you entered a scene as a different character, it kind of like you would either miss or you would gain something.
They have
from that
so
interaction.
Right, and they have so many different segues for the characters. Like when you join them, they're all doing something. Especially Trevor, who is like naked on a boat somewhere sometimes, or naked on the train tracks, or naked.
If you switch to Trevor, it was like one of those things where it's like, oh fuck, I shouldn't have done that. I want to save my game and stop playing. And then like all of a sudden you're just being chased by the cops.
Right. Right. It's like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas kind of moment. It's like the with the Hangover. It's you always wake up in a hangover and you're just figuring out what exactly is going on. I'm excited for GTA 6. I'm even more excited for it if it's going to be like Vice City. I know lifed the shit out of that game. I'm sure a lot of people did, but man, I remember playing it for so many hours and thinking it was like the best graphics that I'd ever seen. I still remember streets in that game that I would always take, like especially like the one on the beach where there was like a lot of missions there. I remember trying to get the helicopter, have the worst helicopter controls ever in that game. But like things are going to be next gen now, and that's great. Like the one thing people wanted to hear is GTA 5 is that it's going to feel more responsiveness with the enhancement update, and I can't wait for that. We're going to be seeing these enhancements updates, I guess in the fall. Maybe they could push it up. It would be pretty cool if they did. Frankly, it's what we need right now. I think Cyberpunk is doing us a terrible thing. With their enhancement update, guess when it's coming out? Later half of this year. Unbelievable. They need a small team working on that now. So goddamn it, we can play the game because no one wants to play Cyberpunk right now, especially people who have gotten an next gen console. I mean, Jesus Christ, It looks great, right? But I mean, it really doesn't, if you know what I mean.
All I'm saying is that Valhalla rolled that shit out in a month.
Yeah,
they said, "Oh." Fuck. All right, hold on.
Yeah, they didn't even have it ready. They told us, no, fuck you. We're not doing that. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
Yeah.
we this whole thing, you know, we got you. We got
Oh, hold on. Let me just let me get the dust off that for you. Here you go.
See, there were a lot of enhancement updates that Ubisoft Massive has been holding out on us. I don't know. You probably don't even have it installed. I don't know why. But just for shit's sake, did you see the Division 2 enhancement update?
Not only do I not have it, but also fuck you for thinking that I would have it.
You know what? Fuck me too. You're right. Because I don't know why it's still on my Xbox. But
what a terrible life choice. That is.
I know it's bad. Like my mom tells me every day.
Yeah, I'm really proud of you, and I'm almost proud of you. All you have to do is delete the Division 2 off your Xbox. I'm sure that's exactly what she says.
Right. I delete it and then I move it right back over with my old SSD. It's a bad habit, you know. It's like a bad ex-girlfriend that you can't shake. But I got to tell you, this enhancement update, on the other hand, is fire. It's too bad the game isn't, but I mean, it still looks really, really good, and it feels like a different game. And like, man, you have got to see it just to see what these people are capable of doing. Like the game is smooth as hell. And it makes me want to get on and play it. Right now, they have some Resident Evil apparel event going on, which is pretty cool. I mean, the leather jacket is obviously for the chick, whoever that is. I never played Resident Evil because the controls were shit. But maybe that's
the whole lore to it. Though.
All right, that's what makes the game terrifying. Yeah. It's like
you're these giant things like coming after you, and you have to run away and then like find a spot to stop so that you can aim this tiny little fucking laser at their face. And do you
think they worked hard on that, or not enough?
I feel like they worked really hard. I feel like that'd be very difficult to pull off because like you have to like think because like for them they have to come up with those off angles. You know what I mean? Like they gotta play through it. It's got to be annoying.
I mean, you really do got to get those cheeky angles in the game. And maybe that's where I get my snipes from. Maybe that's where I get my angles from. I don't know.
One part that I really do hate about it is when they change the camera.
Yeah.
And then like all of a sudden you're like, but they invert the control so that it works. So if you were running in one direction in the next camera view, you're still holding down the same thing. But if you have to stop for something, it just makes it a pain in the ass to get your bearings again.
It's awkward. It's awkward as hell. I don't blame you. I don't feel bad for saying it.
Although I will say that it is quite like the camera does work really well and the controls work really well when you're at a point in the game where everything is coming right at you.
Yes.
Like right behind the character. It does work really well for that.
And I just maybe I need to get back into it. But you know, one thing that I am going to be doubling down on, and I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it, Cross. I'm getting into VR probably this March. We'll see. But there's a lot of VR games. There's a lot. They're really, really going to be making some really. If you guys, anyone who watches anything about gaming, especially on YouTube. If you're listening to the show on YouTube, you might get in your recommendation videos top 20, top 10 most open world games coming out, and you'll see some games that are in first person. They're like, oh, this is a cool first person game, but no, a lot of them are going to be VR. In addition, it makes me nervous too. But I got to tell you, Cross, even a game like Skyrim, which still looks amazing, but if you play it on PC with VR, people are saying you'll never want to leave. And will it ruin gaming for us? Maybe, who knows? But I think it's time. I think it's time to get into VR. I do. I was waiting for those sunglass VR glasses, but I don't know if I'm going to be seeing those anytime soon. They were demoed at a couple CESs 2 years ago.
Yeah, I'm not even saying it makes me nervous because it's VR and stuff like that. Yeah. Like I am open to the world of VR, right? Like, don't get me wrong, especially with the world in the state that it's in. Like, it would be a great escape. My only issue is that I get motion sickness really easily, and I don't know how my body is going to deal with that. And I feel like I'll just be left out. We'll just have to leave me behind. This is a path I cannot follow you. Just lead you. I lead you to the pearly gates, and I go, no, Morgan, I can't go with you.
You don't want lead you. You don't want it to be ruined for you. I get that.
It's like what was it in Avengers, where like he can never leave the place with the.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I can't leave. I can only lead you.
I can only lead you so far
to the Infinity Stone, but I can't get it for you.
What if you could
never leave here?
But Cross, what if you could hold an Infinity Stone in your virtual reality hands?
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter because I'd throw up and have a massive headache 2 hours later.
Maybe they can fix this because they know exactly what causes that too, by the way. And if a game makes you do that, they are not taking care of you. And you should be offended.
The game that does it the most to me is Overwatch.
Yeah.
But it's only if I sit down and play for like long periods of time. But that game is so fast paced that like I can't really put that on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of my own fault. But I'm just that invested for 7 hours at a time. My fucking armpits are sweating.
Yeah, true.
I get a headache and I go, oh, this is nothing. I'll get over it. And I just keep pushing and keep pushing. Like it warns me. It's like, you got a headache. Time to stop.
Right.
No. In the middle of this competitive match, I can't stop.
When your hands are cold.
Up by the time I remember, I'm like, fuck it. We're doing another one. And it just, snowballs.
Yeah,
There's nothing I can do.
When your hands get cold and clammy, it's so hard to stand up and stop playing at that point. It is so hard to stop doing that. But when you do, you're like, I should have done this like 20 minutes ago. Fuck. It's a relief. But at the same time, your ears are ringing. You got the headset on. And for those kind of moments, I'm really thinking about getting probably another MMX 300 Bear Dynamic headset, but I'm going to get like an open back one so air can flow through. I'm really going to try that out because people say that having an open back headset immerses you even more than just like a closed headset. And plus, like you get heat and stuff trapping inside your ears. It's not great. You can get some cups.
Don't get the Turtle Beach Pro Tournament 2s.
Yeah.
They're super expensive and they echo like a motherfucker.
Yeah, true. But man, I won't lie, this little adapter I got from Turtle Beach is amazing. I just don't think it's ever going to quit. And if it does, I'll just get another one. I hope they find a way to make it better, but it's not broken, So it's like, yeah, it works. It does everything I need it to. And I am very happy about that. There's nothing wrong with that. But like, I think we're going to have a lot of fun playing GTA Enhanced. I think we're going to have a lot of fun getting into GTA 6. There's not a lot of games out right now that are these hangout games that we thought they would be. But maybe when Cyberpunk gets their multiplayer shit together, well put. I said the same thing about BioWare and Anthem, but like they never learned, and they can't even afford like commercials or ads online right now. I never see anything about it. The game felt good, it played really well, but the loot was shit, and there wasn't anything other to do than fly around. But the whole Iron Man feeling was cool. But that's all I'm going to say about Anthem because that's all it deserves. Because they never learned their lesson.
Yeah, the problem is that like you got a better Iron Man feeling from Grand Theft Auto mods than you did actually Anthem.
See, I need to try that. I need to check that out. I didn't get to check out the Thanos one too. I have it on the PC, and I really need to mod the crap out of it and have some fun with that. Like, but man, the enhancement dates are flowing. And I like that. A couple of shows ago, we were talking. I brought up the Division 2 enhancement update wasn't going to be till February, and we were like, "Man, that's a long way away." it's come and gone. It's here, and it's a really nice looking update. But I'm not going to be playing it that much. I mean, a lot of people aren't. They made a statement saying that they're going to be working on both games. So there's plans for year 3 and year 4 for Division 2, while at the same time working on their new open world Star Wars game coming out. I don't know how they're going to do that. They can barely take care of one game. As in not take care of it at all. There's hardly anyone working on Division 2 at the moment. But I mean, they have plans in the works. Maybe they're working on it now. No idea. I don't know. I hope we need to see something better. We also need to see more fiber rollout too. I'm not going to talk much about that, but come on. It's 2021. Where the fuck is our fiber internet?
Right.
Also, Battlefield 6 is going to be coming out this year. Maybe midway through, maybe towards the end. But
yeah, there's been some leaks already, probably towards the end.
Right. We're going to see a free-to-play Battle Royale mode. That'll be interesting. People are like, oh, Battlefield 5 never really sold out well because of their Battle Royale mode. No.
It didn't sell out well because it sucked.
You're right. Without a doubt. I hope to see good things. They're trying to go back to the Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4 days.
I was going to say the best Battlefield ever is Battlefield 4.
Yeah.
Which it did not start off that way.
No, it didn't.
People need to be reminded of that. It started off very badly, but they
remember
fixed
the word netcode. Yeah. Yeah. I guess they fixed that. And that netcode is such a broad term too. It's just like it sounds cool, but it really is. It's almost like the word singularity. It's just something people assign to give something a definite. You really know how to hate something when you give it a name.
Yeah. Now I can say what it is that I hate.
That's
has
right.
A name.
It's like, I hate that thing you do.
But yeah, Battlefield 6, which it may not even be called Battlefield.
Right.
I'm hearing. But we'll see. Or I guess it'll probably be Battlefield something, but it might be like Battlefield Hardline. Not that it'll be like that game. I know a lot of people hated that. I loved that game personally.
I never got to play it, unfortunately.
I know a lot of people didn't like it. Not saying it'll be like Hardline 2 or anything. I'm just saying that they'll have like a different name for it. Like how they stopped naming the Call of Duties. Like after COD 4, it just became whatever. It was Modern Warfare or Black Ops or whatever.
Speaking of Call of Duty, I'm having a great time playing Cold War. Whenever I get the chance, but it's playing really well. A lot of people aren't really too fond of it because I guess a lot of the Warzone fans aren't. But man, I really enjoy the hell out of it.
Oh, yeah. Real quick too. Another big announcement recently. I don't even know how I didn't bring this up, but you saying what you were playing recently reminded me of this because recently I have not been playing my Series X, Morgan. I have not been playing on my beast-ass PC. I haven't even been playing my PlayStation 4 or my Nintendo Switch. I have been playing my Xbox 360.
Oh, wow.
And guess what game I've been playing?
I have got to hear this. What is that?
NCAA Football 14, which is the last college football game ever made. And EA recently has announced that a college football game is coming, and I am so excited.
Nice. So it still plays. Is it pretty solid on the 360 still?
Yeah. I mean, like you can tell it was made in 2013 and on the 360.
Well, so was GTA 5.
But it's not that good because remember that this was like a year-over-year turnover type of deal, right? So like, yeah. So, but I will say that it plays way better than Madden does right now. It doesn't look as pretty, but it plays way better than Madden does.
What's Madden doing that's pissing people off now?
What isn't it doing? So your AI defense is just, probably part of the Wall Street Bets chat. You get what I'm saying? Just a bunch of autists out there. Blue zones don't cover anything. The game is just broken. In fact, it's so broken on next gen, especially that they did the Pro Bowl on Madden this year because they didn't want to risk COVID over the Pro Bowl because the Pro Bowl's stupid anyway.
Right.
And they didn't even use the next gen version of the game. They only used the last gen's version.
Oh,
because next gen plays so poorly. It's so bad. It's awful. It looks great. It looks amazing. It sucks.
I'm sorry to hear that. That sounds awful.
It's like how the new Star Wars Battlefront started off.
But is it better than Dreamcast football? Is it?
Nope. No. These are probably, honestly, I've played Madden every year since, I want to say 2003. Madden 03, so really 2002. This is by far the worst one I've played.
Yikes.
This is by far. It's not even, it's like, maybe I'm just looking back fondly on like the times that I spent with Madden. Because I guess Madden 12 was pretty bad. The one with Peyton Hillis on the cover, that one was actually fucking bad. Especially after that gem that was Madden 11. Highly underrated. Madden 12 is really bad, but I still think, okay, so I would rank it as like the bottom 3. I would put Madden 21 next gen at the very bottom. Then I'd go Madden 12, and then I'd go current gen Madden 21. Because like it is a little bit better.
Oh my.
But yeah, it's that bad.
Man. I used to play games like that from time to time. It's been a very long time since I've actually sat down to play a football game though. I can't even remember when. It could have been Dreamcast. Who knows? It could have been a very long time ago. I don't even know. Looks like we're going to have to wrap it up there. Thank you guys for coming. Hopefully there's going to be a lot more. Hope you liked it. You can follow the show at Reactive Reload on Twitter. You can follow me at The Irish Cowboy, No Take Backsies, and Crossover at Reactive Brandon. You guys have a good day, night, whatever the hell time it is you're watching this. We fucking love you.